Hello everyone, welcome to the Space Viking Chronicles. I'm Margaret Krohn, and of course with me is a whole slew of new people that you should now be able to hear and no longer hear Christmas music. Sorry about that, that was a little weird. I hit the wrong playlist. I was like, that was a weird intro song. Yeah. How are you guys doing? Are you guys doing good today?
Yeah. I'm very excited, first of all. First D&D campaign I'm participating.
Yeah, Brynch has never played before, so we will go around the table. We'll let everybody introduce themselves as well as their character, except for Brynch. He's the only one who's not going to say anything about his character because we want to learn about his character as we go through it. Whereas the rest of these folks have been part of the campaign for a little while. They have some journeys to talk about. So when you're giving us like the intro of who you are and who your character is, what your character looks like, and all that, maybe give us a brief history of what your character has encountered in the story so far. But of course,
that's wild magic.
Yeah, dude,
mag hype.
Lots of wild magic. Oh, thank you for the 1-year Stan. That means Standalone's got his awesome horns. Congratulations, buddy. But yeah, we do have quite a bit of wild magic that has affected the game. I think Rage is probably the most wild magic induced character here. So he's basically a burb man. So Topher has a problem with keeping clothes on, but
that's not talking about wild magic.
And he does have a wood leg. But I mean, I think other than that, it's all right. It's calling down a little bit. That's not to say tonight might not change anything. But of course,
I'm sure it'll be fine.
All of you at home are going to be
so many wild magic surges. Like, what's one more I'm gonna do? Really?
You guys hear that? Chat?
There is one where you can die. So,
what are the? It's 10,000. What are the odds?
1 in 10,000.
I would like to keep all my limbs, though. That seems nice.
Well, you already lost a foot, so that
2 arms.
That goal is already ended. But of course, you guys at home can change the fate of these players as well as make things a little bit more interesting as well. You're not just watching, you can also partake. So if you look to the right of me, you can see, and above Topher over there, you can see if you do ! St Jude in chat, there are ways that you can interact with the game and be part of it. $5 gives an inspiration. You just tell us who you want to give the inspiration to in your donation when you do that, so that I know it. Otherwise, I will decide. I usually leave it up to RNG though. $10, you can donate a natty 1 or natty 20. Make sure you let me know if it's a natty 1 or natty 20 and who it's going to. You can also like, you know, donate a large amount and then like dedicate like how much you want to give to each person. And if you want to give natty 1s to one person, natty 20s to others, you can totally do that. And you can also give them to the DM if you're feeling spicy, you know. $15 is a wild magic, same as the others. Make sure you let me know who you'd like the wild magic to go to, and then we will have them roll, and it will be exciting. $20 gives a magic item. You can suggest what you'd like the magic item to be, but most of the time I'm going to decide on that because it has to kind of fit with the story. I've oddly been able to make them all fit pretty well. I think people just didn't figure out what the magic item was and identify them, and then when they finally did, 15 episodes later, they're like, oh, I could have really used this. I was like, yeah, I gave you an item you could have used. Who would have thunk? But yeah, you can let me know who you'd like the item to go to, as well as like you can give me an idea of what you want. Sometimes I'm able to like kind of make it something similar. And then $30 is a threat. A threat does not necessarily mean it's going to be a monster that spawns every time. It could be a potential bar fight that spawns, and they have to deal with it. It can be a buff to a creature that's already in the fight. It can be a variety of other things. So, you know, just tell me when you're ready to do those. And I think that kind of covers it. We are already at $10,000 for St. Jude. Our goal is $25,000 this year. So we're killing it. I'm like so excited. I'm not excited about spinning the wheel of pain that Frank and Ballas made for me. It is horrendous. You can look back and see some of the footage of me eating Kool-Aid or, I don't know, some other stuff that's terrible. I also got pied in the face, which is very cold. I'll let you know.
I told you to let it get to room temperature. That's your own fault.
And if somebody like smashed that in your face, it would really hurt because it's like I use like a actual pan. So just, you know, pro tips. Don't smash someone's face with a pan.
Supposed to use like a paper plate.
Yeah, you're supposed to use a paper plate. But that's not good for the environment, Paladin.
No, it's
Paper?
biodegradable though.
Yeah.
It's biodegradable. I guess biodegradable makes it kind of acceptable. But when I can just wash it, it's probably better. Because it's just sugar, just rinsing it off is fine. But yeah, I think that kind of covers all of the things that you guys can be part of it as viewers. And let's get into who these people are. And then we'll talk a little bit about what's going on with the town currently and see what everyone's been up to. And then meet a new character in the world. So we'll kick things off first, as I always do, around the clock. So around the spaceships, I guess. We will start things off with Paladin Hulk, who is playing Tover. Tell us a little bit about who you are and who Tover is, as well as what Tover's been up to in the
Hi,
past.
everybody. I'm Paladin Hulk. I am a Twitch moderator for Roll For It, Geek Space TV, and Random Tuesday. And you can also find me here, which is amazing. And I will be playing Tova, Elven Mage. And boy, as my travel's been interesting. So this town has shown me many wonderful sights, and they've all been glorious and interesting at the very least. But I think the most wondrous sight that I have beheld is my own reflection upon seeing that all my little scars that I've been walking around with have been cured. So that's nice. You know, look like my old self again. That's great. Thanks, Roxy.
Yeah, thank you, Mighty Rick, for the donation. We'll get that into play when we're ready.
I'm still confusing myself. Hold on. So, last episode, we went on a little adventure to retrieve a lost comrade, and I lost my arms, which was not fun, but, you know, they grew back, so that's fine. That's fine. And once again, lost...
We're just like, what did I get myself into?
That's fine.
His first D&D campaign ever, and it's going to be chaos.
Yes, you might lose a few limbs. It's okay.
They regrow back.
Sometimes they grow back, sometimes.
They don't always grow back.
I am missing a foot, which is not great. You know, that's suboptimal.
I don't have any feet.
That's really bad.
I only have hands.
He has 4 hands. All his feet look like hands.
At least you can walk.
Yeah, it'll be interesting when you guys all meet up, because I don't think any of your characters have met each other. Have
This
they?
is true.
Yeah. No. It's gonna be interesting.
Well, I'm a noble, I'm an elf, I'm a sorcerer, I'm a druid, and basically I'm an all-around great guy. And last episode, Roxy inspired me to use my vast amounts of magic for good and go to the church, which is what I am intending to do this episode. So,
all right,
we'll see how that goes.
Thank you, Paladin Hulk. I always love Tover. It's very exciting. And of course, moving on to our next player, which is Rage Strike, who will be playing Garrick, who we've already learned a little bit about so far. Tell us a little bit about you, and then of course your character, and then what your character's been up to.
Hello, I am Rage Strike. I am Twitch chat resident troll here and moderator. I'm playing Garrick Swift. He used to be just a normal average human rogue here for gold and other treasures, but now, after a couple wild magics, he's now on a quest for more wild magic. I actually wrote down all of my things. Let me see here.
He's like collecting them.
Yeah. Character sheet. Alright. So far, I love the way I look. I'll take every advantage to admire myself in shiny objects, or reflective objects. I have bird wings for arms. I have hands for feet. I have a light bulb shaped head. Water tastes like blood to me for some reason. And I can spit acid. So
that was a cool one. I think that was in the recent episode.
The spit acid one, I think so. Yeah, I think it was while I was on the roof, I think.
Yeah.
The
players seem to have it
pretty interesting.
Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. I will see what I can do about that. I don't know if I'll be able to solve it. Okay. And then, of course, our newest member, not going to talk about his character yet because I always like doing grand entrances for my characters because we get to really know them and know a little bit more about who they are and what they're thinking in their minds and their history. But, Brunch, tell us a little about who you are yourself. And, I mean, this is your first D&D campaign. You can talk a little bit about that, too.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've heard what Frank is up to and what he does, so I'm not sure if he should go.
Oh, we'll go.
before me.
We'll have him next. We go
Okay.
clockwise.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
You're just
Awesome.
next up in
So,
line.
Once again, thank you for having me. It's the first time I can actually play D&D. Not a big thing here in Romania, Transylvania, so really appreciate it. I'm a shoutcaster. I do play-by-play casting for different esports titles. That's basically what I do for, especially Blade and Soul. So you might have seen some of the awesome shows Maggie has been producing for sure, especially even this year with the Blade and Soul World Qualification Tournament. So that's pretty much it. And in terms of the character, as said, grand entrances. So I guess I will say nothing more.
Yes, they do have a little bit of a hint because they can see your name and your class. I probably should have put question marks until they saw you, but they do know your name and what class you are. But you can already tell that name's going to be ridiculous. And of course, anonymous with a big dono there. Thank you. We'll see what happens with that when we're ready. And then last but not least, we have Control-Alt-Frank, and of course you'll be playing Vand today. Tell us a little bit about who you are as well as who Vand is, what Vand looks like, all that jazz, and then we'll get things started.
Hello. As you all know, I am Control-Alt-Frank, or Frank for short. I'm the community manager here over at Space Viking Gaming. You can find me, Twitch, Twitter, or just ping me on Discord. Fastest way to find me. I am playing Van's Longstream, a wonderful cherry halfling who kind of speaks like this. He's a monk, usually lives out in the wild, doesn't care for money at all. He's about yay high. And last time he saw someone,
How
there
much
was
is
another one.
yay high?
Yay.
Okay.
He's not good with heights.
All right. Good to know. All right. And I guess that is the introduction of all of our characters. Now to talk a little bit about the world. I talked about how the world is persistent. Well, the world is persistent. It is called Blipteville. Every day we start off with a new group of people in the village of Blipville. Now, everyone comes from all kinds of different areas outside, but the main storyline stays within Blipville. It is a town that has been dealing with a lot of issues. Primarily, a lot of wild magic has occurred here, causing some crazy things to happen. There has been giant crevices of land just that have I can't talk today. Collapsed, and places have been destroyed. Areas of lakes, like giant lakes, are just dried up and gone. The roof of the inn exploded at one point, and the town itself was attacked by a bunch of fire elementalists, and a group of heroes were able to save them. And those heroes were able to help repair the roof and help the town get everything back together. And there's a mural of those heroes on the wall within the inn. There's been some weird things going on where someone said they saw a dragon. People have seen a large flying creature flying over the land several times. So some people are starting to believe there might be a dragon nearby. As well as Vand has shouted throughout the inn that there was a T-Rex. Not everyone has seen that T-Rex. But a group of heroes tried to slay the T-Rex and rid it of the town, but the dragon swooped down and saved the T-Rex due to a donation. So thank you for the donation. I think that was Rage Strike that did the donation for that. To save the dragon, and now we don't know what the dragon or save the dinosaur. We don't know what the dinosaur is up to, but maybe you'll find out soon. Beyond that, a lot of other things have gone down. primarily that the children in the town are going missing even in larger numbers now, and more families are starting to leave the town itself. And the town has been slowly dwindling away. You can see that the houses are a little bit dilapidated. There's definitely been homes that have been not used. Tover actually went to one of those and tried to maybe refurbish it, but the one that he went into, he felt like somebody might have lived is maybe ghosting in there and staying. So he was like, all right, well, it's already claimed, so he doesn't want to claim it. Yeah, so that's kind of what's going on in the town. So we're going to talk to each of our players and see what they've been up to, and then we'll see how everybody comes together for this episode. So, to start us off, we'll go around the clock like we normally do. Tover!
Hello.
What has Tover been doing?
Well, since I once again am without clothes, this time I'm going to go back to that house, that same house, which I know to be empty, and I'm fairly certain that, you know, since there was still furniture and stuff, that perhaps there's a clothes closet up there. So that's where I'm going to go and hope that there's like a spare set of clothes I can use. And after that, I'm going to go to the church.
Yeah, you walk into the house, and as you step in there, one of the floorboards creaks. Roll me a 1d10,000. This is from Mighty Rick, and it says, Paladin tried to sleep shame me for being awake to watch this, so it's time to kick off the wild magics.
It's past 4 a.m., Rick. You should be sleeping. I should be sleeping. Everyone should be asleep.
Alright, some people wake up at 4 a.m. So,
Those people need a new job.
roll me a 1d6.
Not a 1d10,000?
No, a 1d6.
Okay.
4. If you are ever beheaded, your slayer disgorges 4 gallons of blood.
If I'm ever beheaded?
Yes. I will type this in chat for you so you can note this on your character sheet. There you go. That's an interesting one. It won't play here, but maybe someday we'll behead him. And we will get to see it come into.
All right. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he rolled. You didn't see it? Oh.
Yeah,
Did you not roll a 1d10,000?
I did not.
Oh, roll
Yeah,
a 1d10,000.
I think you
I think that was
rolled
my roll. I just took that number.
100.
No, it's fine. Like, this works. Right?
No, roll your 1d10,000. I didn't see the. I thought I saw a roll and I didn't know that was my roll. It wasn't yours.
All right.
I still think you should keep the other effect too.
Yeah, this sounds fun. It's a positive one.
All right.
Not like this one, which is super high.
Ooh, this is a cool thing. So this is something that's going to happen in the world. Would you guys like me to tell you, or would you like me to
Never tell us.
keep it to myself until it happens?
I want you to keep it.
Keep it? All right. We will keep it, chat. And when it happens.
So much for, like, draining my beheader.
You can keep that one too.
Oh, okay. Yay!
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you walk in, the floorboard creaks a little bit, and you kind of step on a little, and you see that one of the nails popped up, so you probably could hammer that if you wanted to fix it. And you make your way over to the closet. And as you open up the closet, roll me another wild magic. This is from anonymous.
Bet it's going to be empty. Because, you know, life doesn't want me to have clothes.
The closet's gonna be empty.
Ooh, that's low.
This kind of follows up on you. You will no longer be able to eat anything that you didn't make yourself.
I
don't
do
know why
that
I used it.
anyway, so...
Yeah, so you will only eat stuff that you made. So if someone tries to offer you food or drink or anything, you're just like, no, No, I didn't make that myself.
Even drink? That sounds a little more complicated.
I feel like the combination of both makes it, but it does say eats any food. I feel like drinking is...
That would exclude drinking normally.
Can Tover create water?
I can, so it's not that much of an issue.
Yeah,
but...
we can do that it's food only. That's true. That's fine, since it does say food. Cool. Yeah, you open the closet door and you look inside. There is a pile of some kind of cloth, maybe in the corner. It looks like maybe dirty laundry. And then in the top of the corner of the shelf at the top of the closet, there is a small box that looks like it's wrapped.
How small is this box?
Probably like 5 by 7.
Okay. Well, I'm here for clothes, so that's gonna have to wait until after I fish with the dirty laundry.
Yeah,
so,
you put your hands. You're gonna go like into the dirty laundry and kind of look what's in there.
Flip it over, spread it out, and see what we've got. And
Yeah.
I cast light.
You cast light and you turn on the light that's in the closet. Like there's a little oil lamp that's there, and you light it up, and the closet illuminates. And now you can see in the left corner is this pile of clothes, and you start dispersing it. There is a flowery pink dress and a couple other feminine like blouses and a skirt.
Perfect. I mean, it's clothes. No, like, socks and underwear, stuff like that. Like, the basics.
There might be... I don't think there'd be socks, but there might be some underwear in there.
That's all we need. Underwear and a dress. Great.
Yeah.
They're
they're women's underwear. Like, this is clearly a women's closet. Yeah.
Like, gender stuff is not, like, an
Cool,
elven issue.
You plop them on.
Yep.
They're dirty.
Oh, I cleaned them first with.
Okay. All right. You clean them with your prestidigitation and put the clothes on.
Being magical is just the best. I admire myself in my new pink dress, which I'm sure is of terrible quality, but it's better than nothing.
You do have a cloak on still, right?
I do. Well, I own one, which I should be wearing again now. That I don't.
Are you wearing the cloak over everything else, or are you not wearing the cloak?
Depends on how warm it is. Do I need to wear the cloak?
It is fall. It is a little bit chilly. Maybe not if you're inside of the inn, but maybe outside. Yeah. Especially in the evenings.
Yeah, so I've gotten over the fact that, like, I want, like, excellent clothes. Now I just want clothes. That's what this village has reduced me to.
Makes sense.
Doesn't matter what it is. Everything is better than being naked.
Is there anything else you wanted to do?
Now that I'm wearing clothes, I will open that box.
Yeah, and as you go in to open the box, we're going to pan over to Garrick. What has Garrick been up to?
So after my last time you saw me, I was on the roof of a building, and I saw a T-Rex and a T-Rex riding a dragon.
Nope.
No, that's what I saw.
No, you saw a dragon killing a bunch of gorgons.
Okay, well,
there was no
I saw
T-Rex.
a giant beast killing gorgons, a gaggle of gorgons, and I decided to go after it to track it down to find its lair. I guess after investigating for the long time I was gone, I found the cave, but it was caved in. Mm-hmm. So I eventually came back to town, and that's what all I've been up to.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you're making your way back to town. What's odd to you is as you're walking into town, you've been in the town for how many, like, quite some time now, right? You were one of the first groups that were in here.
Not the first year. I came like maybe 2 weeks after.
Yeah, you've been here for a while. As you're walking back into town from the east, because that's where the cavern is to the east. One of the buildings that normally, the family that lived there has vacated it. There's a light up in one of the rooms that you can see, like, kind of glinting through the windows. So it looks like somebody maybe is broke into their house.
Which one? Like, is it a house I know?
Yeah, I'm saying it's one of the houses that has been kind of vacated. Like the family has left and abandoned the town. So that no one's been there in a while. So it's weird that there's a light on in there.
Okay, so it's not the one that I crashed in for a week?
No.
No, okay. Or what a day, whatever that was. Anyways, all right. I'm going to investigate. So it's a 2-story building, you said?
Yeah.
All right. Can I get up to the roof or to like the second? I don't know.
Without going through the door, you want to scale the wall. Yeah, you could probably either do it with an athletics where you're like trying to like climb your way up, or maybe I would also allow an acrobatics where you like try to like parkour onto some things to get up there. So I'd allow either of those roles. It's kind of it determines just how you're describing how you're going to do it.
Yeah, the way I picture it is it's a roof with a window that's on the roof to the second story. Is that correct?
No, it's like, so there's the one floor, and then there's like another floor, and then there's a roof on top.
Okay. Can I get to the second story? To look in that window?
If you roll
somehow?
me, Tim, we'll see. Those are the two options you have.
Okay. I'm just trying to picture what it looks like.
Yeah, like I said, you could either climb to scale the side of the wall, or you could like parkour off some like item or the walls of like the buildings and kind of climb up. Oh, with a 14?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Yeah,
Right.
So you're using acrobatics. So describe to us how you're like parkouring up to the top of this next to the window. Are you doing this stealthily? I also should ask. I should have probably asked that to begin.
Sure.
So roll me a stealth check to see how stealthy you are. 25, nice. Tova, roll me a perception.
There we go.
Hey, Prairie Dog, I don't have control over the ads. I actually don't have any ads on my channel. That's all Twitch on Twitch's end. If there's ads that you're seeing, I'm sorry. Ooh. Yeah, Tover, you are, looking at yourself, trying to like be like, all right, does this work? It's fine. I'll be good. And yeah, you're able to climb up on here. You can totally describe to us how it looks as you climb up to this window and you peek in.
I guess I'm just like climbing it. I'll just scale on the wall, like grabbing pits and putting my feet in there and my hands in there. I guess if it's made of brick or something, I don't know. But I'm just getting up to the window, the second story window, so I can peek in and see what I see.
Yeah. You're like frozen for us, or did you purposely do that?
Hold on.
I don't know.
There should be fixed.
Yeah, now you're good. Yeah, you peek in through the window and you're looking to try to see what's there. Without like, just with your passive, what's your passive perception actually? It's on the left-hand side on the character sheet.
Passive perception.
It's under all the skills.
Passive wisdom perception, 16.
Yeah. 16? Oh yeah, okay, with the 16. Yeah, you look in and you can see a light in the back of one of the rooms. You would probably think that might be like a closet. Looking into there, like you've kind of seen a lot of rooms before in houses in your time, especially with the job that you have had, like the profession that you've had. It looks like maybe it's a closet, so someone is inside of a closet. You can kind of see some shadows moving along from the light, and it looks like the person is fairly tall. You can't tell if they're human or not, but it looks human from what you can see. It doesn't look like they've disturbed the rest of the house. Like nothing in the house looks like it's like been like thrown about or anything like that. Most of it all looks pretty undisturbed, but you can see some footprints in the dust that's been kind of accumulating over the past like 6 months.
So there's no like new furniture or anything?
No, it doesn't look like someone's just moved in or anything like that. It looks like it's, you know, whoever's in that closet is maybe specifically going there to look for something in that closet. It doesn't look like they're living in that place as far as you can tell.
All right, is the window locked?
Ooh, yeah, you put your hands down to kind of like jostle the window a little bit to try to open it, and it is locked. But you could unlock it. Do you have thieves' tools?
I will attempt to unlock it.
Yeah, use some thieves' tools. I'm excited.
All right. I don't know. Do I just click it? Does it? Nope.
You can't use your proficiency. You have to use it in the tools section. So there's actually a tool section. It's on the left-hand side under your ability points and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't have it in the tool thing.
Oh, well, do you not have one?
I have it. It's in my inventory, and it's a proficiency I have.
Okay. Give me a second. I can add it to your sheet. So here you go. Why is it not working? Weird. Oh, it's maybe because you already have it on your thing. It's bugging out because you have 2 of them. Alright, let's try this now. Items. Weird. I don't know why it's not doing it, but...
I also have it in my other proficiencies and not in my tool proficiencies.
Oh, that's fine. You should have it in both. Hold on a second. Give me a moment to set it up for you.
Okay.
There you go. You should have it now.
Alright. Should I change that from intellect to something else?
Normally you use int to open locks, but I guess you could use dexterity. I would allow that. Int or dex. Okay. I wouldn't allow anything else to open a lock. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
24, yeah. You kind of jostle it, and then you use your thieves' tools to kind of like, you stick like one of your pins in there, and you move another one around, and you're able to like unlatch it. It makes this nice crisp click noise that you've heard probably hundreds of times, because this isn't the first time that you've opened a window before. And you slowly lift the window up, placing your thieves' tools back in your pocket, and you open the window. Are you going to climb into the window?
Yes.
Yeah, you climb in. Do you close the window behind you?
No.
Okay, yeah, you leave the window open, and a gust of air kind of comes in, and some of the dust moves up. And you know how kind of when you can see dust floating around you? It's what you see a little bit of. It looks like no one's been here in a while, and the dust along the edges of the window kind of float around you as you come into the room. That'd be kind of cool fan art to see. Climbing through the window like a creeper.
I'm going I want to sneak up to the closet, I guess.
Yeah. You're kind of walking and sneaking up to the closet, and right about when you get to the opening and you can see that there is an elven man dressed in a pink dress. Do you have the cloak on right now, Tover?
I do.
With a cloak, like it's like a pink flowery dress with a cloak over him. I think the cloak's blue. I can't remember.
It's brown. I keep magicking it to be blue, but I've given up on that.
Oh, okay. Because I knew you had made it blue. Okay, so it's back to brown. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a brown, old, like dirty cloak. He's given up on that. And that's when we're going to actually pan over and we're going to see what Vand is up to. What have you been up to, Vand?
Vand has been up to that moneyless monk life. Just doing the odd job here and there, but lately he's been trying to teach people the way of the wilderness, since he is in fact a monk of the wilderness. So he's just tends to look for a nice grove to sit in, and if he sees anybody, he talks to them about nature, almost like a druid would, but sadly, the druidic magics have not found him yet.
I like to imagine you're doing this at the edge of town, down by the south area, because that makes the most sense. Like the town, because the forest is slowly deteriorating, and something's like eating away at it and infecting it. You're kind of sitting there and like praying and making morning prayers and evening prayers and kind of like hoping that you can push off the evil and press it back. And then if anything, and if any like evil spirits come your way, you're prepared to like fight them if you have to. But of course, if anybody else passes by, you try to say hello to them. You're kind of in a deep trance, and roll me a perception check.
Do I still have to use all my 20s?
Yes.
Okay, I get a 20.
Yeah, use one of your 20s, remove it.
Yes.
You heard something up in the window in one of the buildings. And now, as you're looking over, you can actually see that the window is open and that there's some light coming through it. You know that this building itself is one that has been emptied for a while. It used to be like it's connected to the stable, and it's one of the buildings that has been kind of, it used to be used, but the family left. Of course, no one's coming from the town, from the south anymore, so they kind of couldn't keep their business going.
Vand, opens an eye from his meditation and looks over towards the building, and since it's close to the forest, correct?
Yeah, not that close to the forest. Like it's pretty far in regards to like where the forest is, but you're like sitting at the edge of the town, and this is like the closest building to there.
I mean, it's the closest one.
Mm-hmm.
Worst case scenario, it's one of the evil spirits from the forest that needs to be ushered back into the light. So he slowly gets up and starts walking towards the building.
Are you going to go through the front door, or are you going to try to scale the building, or what's your plan?
He's just going to knock on the door.
Are you still wearing that interesting flash suit? Yeah, the armor.
He's still wearing it because he's taken it off before, and he knows he's much slower because of it. But now it's covered in like leathers and the like that he would usually wear as a monk.
Yeah. And as you're walking to the door, something you feel even faster than you did before. What does the suit give you again?
The suit, I think, gave me plus 10 speed or 15 speed, I don't remember.
Yeah, double check for me.
Because I'm at 55. Because I'm fast. Fast like Sonic.
He's keeping warm with all them layers.
Speed.
Also, what is your wisdom modifier?
My wisdom modifier is 2.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
So, Vand walks towards the door, knocks on it, but he feels faster.
Yeah, as you're like how fast was it? That's what I was asking you.
Oh, my wisdom modifier is 2.
No, not your wisdom modifier. The how fast did the suit make you?
Oh, the suit gave me plus 15.
Plus 15?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you feel even faster. It now gives you plus 20. It's like you unlocked something in it. And this is due to an anonymous donator who gives Vand an item to go faster. I already gave him an item that makes him go fast, so I'm like, I'll just make him go faster. It makes sense. Like a lot of superhero suits have like multiple things that they can do. You have to like learn to unlock them. Yeah.
All the meditations paid off.
Yeah, so you knock on the door, and both Tover and Garrick both hear the knock on the door. And that is where we're going to actually pan over to our new player.
So, my
Brinch.
character just is... Should I start? Sorry.
Let's first talk about what does your character look like?
So my character is a Fiefling. Is around 6 foot in terms of height. Pretty skinny considering the height. Around 60 to 65 kilograms. I think that's around 143 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, or so. And the character, should I start with like where he is in the world and everything?
No, I will kind of handle that.
Okay.
I just want to know like what your character looks like.
Dark blue hair, silver eyes, and very pale skin, pale white almost.
Ooh, cool. Yeah. Why do you think Agamemnon is coming to Vliptville specifically?
Primarily because I woke up next to the town or outside of town, and all I had was this paper to my name. It has a bunch of data. I do not recall anything that's happened, but it does have my name, Agamemnon Dardanake. It has an age with a bunch of numbers scribbled, the last one being 20. It says live plus location, something with Ville, but it's scribbled over, so I'm not quite sure. Then it says occupation, brewer, working for, and again scribbled. Ask for the guildmaster. Don't practice magic. Don't pry with wizards. And never stray too far.
Ooh, cool. Yeah, you wake up actually in the south side of town. Around you is a bunch of bramble. The ground beneath you feels cold, and actually a shiver goes down your spine as you look around and you see that the trees that are all around you are dead. One of them looks like it's maybe moving, like its branches are moving in a way that maybe trees don't normally move. And you hear a light howling in the distance. Ooh, ooh.
Can I
To the right of you is deeper into the forest, and to the left of you looks like there's what you can see a semblance of a village.
Can I check to see if the tree is actually alive and moving?
Yeah, roll me a perception check. So on your skills section, there's a perception. Just click the word perception, and it will roll it. Oh no.
Clueless.
Oh, with that's a natty one. How did you? Because you have a -1. Oh, I was like, how did you even do that? Oh man. With a natty 1, you try to look at the tree, and it's like you look away, and then you look back, and then you look away, and you look back, and like it moves, and then as you're looking at it, it stops, and then it moves, and then you look back, and it stops, and it's kind of like one of those things where you never actually see it moving when you're looking at it, but you swear it's moving on its own. It's doing something weird. We don't even need to use wild magic on Brinch. He's starting with bad luck already. Oh no.
Since I feel like I can handle this, I stand up, try to gather my bearings, stand strong, and try to be act as confident as possible, and ask, who goes there?
Ooh. So are you trying to be intimidating, or are you trying to be like persuasive?
Yeah,
intimidating? All right, yeah, roll me an intimidation. His first ever roll in D&D ever, and he rolled a natty 1. 18, that's more like it. Yeah, you sound strong, and you sound intimidating. The tree doesn't move. You hear the wind slowly kind of like going through the trees. You hear like a little whistle of the wind. But no one calls back to you.
I look around a little more and decide to try and move towards the small lights that I can see in the distance in the town.
Okay. So you're gonna go back, you're gonna walk that way?
Yes.
Yeah. You start walking that way, and the bramble below your feet, it almost feels like it's like grabbing onto you, and there's moments where you have to like take your weapon and kind of like slash it away with your dagger and like kind of make your own path because it's so brambly. But you make your way to an entrance where there's a path, and you finally make it to a path, and you can see that there is a pathway to the town. You start walking closer and closer towards it. When you're about like 40 feet away from the town, you do see what's your passive perception, actually?
Oh. Do I have to roll?
No.
Passive? Oh, okay.
It's a 9. Okay. It's below all your skills. See where it says passive wisdom perception? That's what you normally see when you're not like actively looking for something. Like if you're just walking along and you're not actually looking for something. You do see a sign. It looks old and crackled. There's like branches that have like spiked through it, and so it's missing pieces. But as you look at it, you do see, it's not a hard thing to see, it does say Vliptville on it. It is, you couldn't get to the sign because there's so much bramble in the way, like you'd have to like cut your way through for a while, but you can see that perhaps this area was once a beautiful traveling trail, and now it is quite the opposite as you walk closer and closer to the town, and you start seeing the semblance of actual living grass and trees and fauna that like wasn't there as you were walking, and it's almost like a warmth kind of washes over you as you slowly leave whatever that decrepit forest was that you were in. And tell me a little bit about this when you woke up. Do you remember anything about yourself at all? Or is this like an amnesia type of thing?
This is more like an amnesia type of thing, kind of like a memory loss type of feel.
Okay.
I feel very intrigued and attracted to sources of light or anything that mystifies me, that can mean mostly magic in a sense.
Okay. By light and magic. So like the arcane things like really intrigue you. Do you know what your history is as your character, or would you like me to kind of like unfold that for you? Or do you actually know what Agamemnon's here like past was?
As in what he would know, or what I would say?
What
like,
you as Brynj
past?
know, because obviously Agamemnon
okay.
he's had amnesia, right? Like your character doesn't know anything. He just woke up in like this creepy ass forest, and now he's walking towards a town that he's never seen. But apparently, this piece of paper says that he should be going there, and maybe he's that person that's listed on there. You don't really know. But you as Brynj, do you know what your who your character is?
What I've thought so far is basically that he doesn't really know who his parents is. He pretty much been through a rough childhood, remembers working for the most part in a brewery, or not remembers, he was working for the most part in a brewery, eventually being taken under the guidance of the guild master of that artisan guild. And that was basically the person that set him up to make sure he always has that extra safety wherever he is with a piece of paper in this case. And he was always intrigued by magic, as said. He dabbled in it a little bit, but every time the guildmaster tried to force him not to do so, tried to steer him away and make sure he focuses on the craft instead. And every time he tried to ask about his past, it was always the subject always got quickly changed, basically, and he never figured out what actually happened to him or where he actually came from.
Okay. Do you know where he actually came from?
No.
Okay, cool. So I can kind of play around with that a little bit. Cool. Yeah, as you walk and you start getting closer, now you're at the point where you're in the town. This town looks almost like a ghost town. But there are a few buildings that still have light coming through them, and you can see the chimneys having smoke coming out of them. The building that you see immediately, which is probably like 60 feet away from you, is kind of a house connected to a stable. It looks like perhaps maybe this was the stable at the south end of the town that people would come to and like leave their horses or their carriages before they went into the town and did their business. Looking at the town and the way that the road is created, especially having had a past of being kind of a guild and having a craft, it does look like that this town maybe was once a big trade route, that perhaps many people traveled on this road. It's got a wide path, which means there's probably, you can pit 4 carriages along the path, which is quite large. And the building itself that you see immediately is completely dark, except for in the top you can see kind of a light shining through an open window. And you see a man who is like a little kind of human, almost like a halfling. Maybe it's a halfling. Have you seen a lot of halflings?
Not too often.
Not too often, yeah. So you look at it and first you think it's a human or a human child, but then you look and you see that he has like a full beard. Oh, maybe that's a human. Maybe that's a halfling. And you see him kind of wearing like this red, tight skin suit, which is very odd. Like you haven't ever seen clothing like that before. And he looks like he's knocking on the door.
My first instinct is to, if I look around, is there anything else that is active?
Oh, he doesn't have a beard. Okay.
On the street.
Never mind. He didn't have a beard.
Okay, so it still might be a child.
Still might be a child. Yeah.
Okay, extra spooky at night. So, is there anything else surrounding that character that is active or seems like active?
No, there's a pathway, there's a pathway closer into town further where you can see more buildings. There's one building in particular that you can see lots of smoke coming from, like from the chimney, but all the other buildings kind of are all the lights are off for the most part. Like you don't see a lot of buildings with lights on. So that's why this one window with the light kind of stands out to you, is because like there's really only one big building in the town that you can see as you first walk in, and you can't even really see it. You can only see some windows off in the distance and the chimney, and that's the only house that you see, or that's the only large building that you see that actually looks like it has life. Otherwise, all the other buildings in the whole town, other than this one room in this one house in front of you, and obviously it's the closest thing to you, has light.
Then I proceed to try and walk towards said child/figure.
Yeah.
And I try to approach him. Or approach them.
Yeah, you try to approach him. Band, you're knocking on the door, and Tover and Garrick, you hear someone knock on the door. I'm going to first go up to you guys in that room. First, Garrick, with your crazy perception and your stealth, I want to know what you're doing first as you hear the door knock. So you know that this person in the closet might also hear it and turn around.
I think I'm going to immediately hide.
Yeah. So I'm going to get another stealth check from you, just because there is light flowing from this closet, and you're getting pretty close because you were sneaking up on him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me...
So you're going to kind of like get hide off into the shadows. I like it.
Stealth.
23, yeah. You slink into the shadow and into the darkness in the room. And Tover, what do you do when you hear the door knock?
I turn around towards the opening of the room.
Yeah, you turn around and you look into the opening of the room. Can you roll me a perception check, and then you can say, I know it seemed like you were going to say something.
Yep. idea.
Yeah. You actually, when you're in a room and it's dark and you get kind of like that feeling like someone's there, like watching you, and you like just want to run? I don't know if anyone else has ever felt that. I've definitely felt it, where I'm like in a part of my house and it's dark and I'm just like, oh, I need to get to where the light is. I need to go back to my room or turn my light on or something like that.
I'm more of a fight response, but yes.
Yeah, you get kind of like one of those moments. It's not like you're gonna run for your life or anything like. It's just like this moment of like feeling like that, like somebody's watching you.
I was grabbing that box, so I'm just gonna take that with me.
You can take the box with you. Yeah, you carry the box with you and you start walking down the stairs.
Coming.
You yell coming down as you're like coming down the stairs, and Van, you hear something, but it doesn't. You're not really sure if someone's saying something, but you think maybe someone's. You can't make out what they're saying, but maybe they're on their way. And that's when Agamemnon, you're walking up to the small child character that you see that's been knocking on the door.
And I approach him and say, "Excuse me, child? Well, first off, could you tell me where I am?"
Hi. You're right here, standing in front of me.
And my character starts getting a little bit frustrated. You can notice that he gets a little bit more serious and says again, "I'm not playing games. Please, I needed this information."
Well, what type of information are you looking for? Because we're right on the edge of the town. And the edge of the town is right here.
If you cannot be any use to me, then where do the real adults stay at?
Oh, usually in houses, like this one.
I open the door. Hello!
This conversation is happening. Yeah, Tover, you open the door.
Oh my gosh, a child! We haven't seen one of you in ages. I thought you were all lost. Well, I found one.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not a child. I'm just halfling. A little shorter than you.
Oh, that's disappointing.
I mean, a little bit.
I like your outfit, though. It's very cute.
It's a tight outfit.
Thank you.
Very fetching.
You're
Oh,
a man or
hello!
woman? I can't tell.
A new friend as well. Another tiefling. I walk up to you and shake your hand. Hello.
I
My name is
reluctantly,
Tover, Elven Mage.
shake your hand at first and then introduce myself. Hello. I think I'm Agamemnon, but I require help. I'm looking for some information. This child over here, he's not of any help at all. Halfling, whatever. Please, can you help me out?
Of course. I, as a noble, look after all of my people, which includes you when you're here.
Maggie,
I-
is there? Can I look in the closet?
Yeah, we'll go back to you in a moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please, I've just woken up. I need to know if this is, or the name of this town, first of all.
Oh, the name of the town. It's Flipville.
What he said.
Now you talk. All right.
I've been talking this
Second
entire
off.
time. Maybe we're just long legs too tall to hear.
Second off, as I look towards Tover, as I was saying, do you know of a certain Agamemnon that has been residing around these parts, or has been around these parts at all?
I thought you said you were Agamemnon.
But you're looking
That-
for yourself. Are you on the spirit quest?
My problem is a little bit deeper than that. I have quite a few more questions, but before I go to that, I guess what would help me out a little bit more is, do you know of any guild masters, of any artisans, especially from brewers?
I do not. However, there is an innkeeper. He might know. I mean, he does serve the drinks. Would you like to go visit?
Yes, please. Or rather, no. Can I X that or say something else instead? Or...
Yeah, you can say something else.
Okay. I then say, can you point me towards the inn?
I mean,
Yes,
I will
that
go
way.
with you, of course. I don't want people getting, scared when a demony looking fellow walks in. Don't want to give off the wrong impression.
I give him a surprised look and ask,
This
demony?
is a small town. Yes, do you not know what you look like? This is what you look like. And I cast a little illusion of what he looks like. And I exaggerated a little bit.
Yeah, so
That's a
you
neat trick.
see he cast
Agamemnon.
illusion, a minor illusion, and it looks like what you assume could be
I
you.
can go this.
I think
In a
Van
more
actually
creepier
in that
pose.
pose
touches
as well.
the illusion.